Hello to James, Roman, Cleo, Winnie, and Sterling. I love you. So today is such a nice and sunny day, and I was so happy to see everybody over the weekend. I am going to read a story, and let's see. There's going to be at least 2 bugs in here. Actually, I think there's too many bugs in this story, but it happens to be a book that James said he would like to read, because one day, James was over at the house here. James was over at the house, said he liked this bug book, so I am happy to read it because, yes, there are quite a few bugs in here. There's big bugs and there's little bugs. So I am going to read this, even though I'm not crazy about bugs. I would rather read about a dog, but I am not opposed to reading about bugs because James said he likes bugs. So I'm going to pull out this book. I'm going to sit down to read it. And in this book, I'm going to find some crazy bugs. Some are going to fly up in the air. And I will be reading this book. So let's see, what other word can we have? You were looking at this book, James, so I think you are going to like it. And Winnie, she also was looking at the books when they came over to see me at my house. So we are now going to read this. So you are probably asking, I'm sure you're asking, what, W-H-A-T, what is this book? It is a story, S-T-O-R-Y for story, about, A-B-O-U-T is about the. Oh, we see the word the when we read all the time. So the story is Battle Bugs of Outer Space. Look at those creepy looking bugs. Alright, let me turn this. We can read this together. Here we have our super pets with their superheroes and our bad guys with their super pets. So today, it's Battle Bugs. So this book is starring the Green Lantern. Green Lantern Bug Corps. Ooh, they all belong to the Green Lantern. And Sinestro Bug Corps. Sinestro. That must be the bad guy. So look at these bugs. Those are the bad bugs. And these are the good bugs. 3 chapters. Chapter 1 is Pest Crime. Chapter 2 is It's a Hit. Chapter 3 is Bug Battle. Well, let's meet our bugs. Bzzzt is a space bug. Gratch is a mantis. Eenie is an ant. Pretty tiny. Zoop is a grasshopper. Buzzo is a bee. And Firefly is Phosphor. Phosphor is a firefly. So the biggest of these appears to be the grasshopper. Now here are the bad bugs. Oh, by the way, they all belong to John Stewart, who is the Green Lantern. And I believe they're all up in space. All right, here's the bad guys. They belong to Sinestro, leader of the Bad Corps. Supervillains. So our supervillain bugs are Ezek, a mosquito. Oh, I do not like mosquitoes. Toots, a stink bug. Stink bug, shoo. Donald, a cockroach. Webbeck, a tarantula. Look at that. Bet he has 8 legs. Yep. Waxy is an earwig. And Fimble is a stick insect. I've seen those. They look like a stick, but they got legs on them. All right. Well, the tarantula is the biggest one of these bugs. Look at that. Pest crime. Crack! The baseball soared into left field at Coast City Stadium. The batter dropped the bat and ran to first base. Yay! Buzz shouted. Go, go, go! His wings flapping wildly as he watched number 38 head towards second base. Buzz loved baseball. He was having a great time at the ballpark on Earth. The sun was shining. The fans were cheering. And the Rockets, his favorite team, were winning. Buzz was not your average baseball fan. He wasn't even a human. He was an insect. More importantly, he was a member of the Green Lantern Corps. So there's Buzz, watching baseball. I like baseball, too. Using power rings, the Green Lantern protected the universe from evil doers. The giant-sized job rarely left Buzz any time to relax. Go, go, go! Buzz shouted again as he zoomed behind the pitcher for a better view of the action. The next Rockets player was up at bat. The pitcher from the other team, the Warriors, looked mad. Who could blame him? His team was losing 6-2 at the bottom of the 7th inning. Time was running out. Just looked mad, doesn't he? I would be mad if this bug was buzzing at my back, too. The batter stepped up to the plate. Strike 1. Strike 2. Then the pitcher hurled another fastball, and the batter swung for a third time. A roach! A roach! Suddenly screamed someone in the stand. I think that's one of the bad bugs. Yep, that would be one of the bad bugs. Oh, and he's sitting on his hot dog. Yuck. It's a hit, the announcer said. Buzz wanted to watch the play, but as the Green Lantern, he knew that duty called. So he soared into the stands to check out who was screaming. Whoosh, there he is. Help me, a woman yelled at the top of her lungs. Buzz hovered over the woman's shoulder. Sure enough, a giant cockroach was crawling all over her jumbo hot dog. And not just any cockroach, it was Donald. Buzz and Donald had crossed paths before. Donald was a member of the evil Sinestro Bug Corps. He liked to stir up trouble. The roach smiled and took a bite out of the lady's hot dog. Buzz scowled. Hot dogs were a big part of baseball. I love hot dogs at a baseball game. Fans were supposed to be able to enjoy them at the game. Donald rubbed his leg together greedily, and he took another bite. Whoosh! Buzz power ring flashed, shooting a ray of green energy. He imagined a finger flicking Donald off that hot dog. Thwop! Half a second later, Donald was squirming on his back on the stadium floor. Hey! Shouted the roach. Whoop! Boom! Yellow light shot out of Donald's ring, knocking Buzz off of his balance. Donald tackled Buzz in midair, and the two fell to the ground in a heap. If you Want a hot dog? Get your own, Buzz said calmly. He wiggled himself free and took a step back. Mind your business, said Donald. Yeah, mind your business, your own business, said a second voice. Ooh, who was that? Maybe it's this guy. Buzz spotted Webbick, a Sinestro spider. He stared at him from the empty seat. Webbick was a tarantula with a tiny brain and a knack for trouble. You're no match for us, you winged weakling, Webbick snorted. He doesn't have any wings at all, by the way. Ooh. Warriors rule, Donald said. Buzz knew he should ignore their insults. He also knew he had to stand up to a bug bully. Is that why the warriors are eating the rocket's dust? Buzz said. Buzz saw a flash of anger in their eyes of the evil bugs. A second later, their rings began firing in all directions. If these villains weren't stopped, America's pastime would soon become the world's worst crime. Look at all these bad rays going on. Oof. That's the end of Chapter 1. Chapter 2 is called It's a Hit. Buzz was no scaredy bug, but he was no fool either. He took off as fast as his vibrating wings could carry him. Vroom! The sound of his beating wings hummed in his ears, and he rounded third base and headed for the pitcher's mound. Donald and Webbick were behind him. Their yellow rings continued to blast rays of light. Boom! Meanwhile, the game was in the top of the 8th inning. The Warriors were up at bat. The first pitch sailed across the plate, and the batter swung. Strike one, yelled the umpire. Buzz darted towards the Rockets' dugout. A beam of yellow light behind him got closer and closer. Zap him! Donald shouted. A wild yellow light shot out of Webbick's ring and blasted Buzz. The Green Lantern felt dizzy and he couldn't fly straight. Up ahead, a row of warriors sat on the bench, waiting for their turn at bat. Player number 43 took off his baseball cap to scratch his head. Buzz tried to steer clear, but the whole world was yellow and spinning. Bzz! He buzzed frantically. Oof, too late. Buzz landed in a giant head of curly hair. Ah, get out, shouted player number 43. No, there's something in my hair. Webbick and Donald roared with laughter as number 43 swiped at his head. He nearly squashed Buzz flat. Buzz focused on his ring and he shot out an arc of green energy. Then he soared out of the sweaty tangles like a jet. Whoosh! Buzz glanced over his shoulder. The Sinister Corp duo crashed into a giant pole at the edge of the dugout. He fell to the dirt floor in a tangle of spider and roach legs. They fell to the floor. Buzz smirked, headed towards home plate. The baseball game was still in the 8th inning, and the score was still 6-2. The Warriors had 2 outs, and the batter had 2 strikes. Looks like it's do or die for your team, said Buzz. I couldn't have said it better myself, Donald shouted back above the roar of the crowd. He shot another beam of yellow light at Buzz. Boom! The pitcher wound up. The ball sailed towards home, and Buzz heard it coming and tried to dodge it, but the yellow light held him back. Donald and Webbick crashed into him, and the ball smashed into all 3 bugs. Look at that. Crack! The Warriors' batter struck the ball hard, sending it flying. Whoa, the threesome cried. The baseball and the bugs sailed over the stands and out of the park. Look at that. He hit that baseball, and they were all hanging on that baseball. Wow. Wham! The bugs landed in a stinky dumpster behind the ballpark. Where are we? Buzz asked. In heaven, Donald cried out. Buzz looked around and said, Heaven? Yes, heaven, Donald confirmed. A giant pile of garbage. Buzz wiggled his antenna in the air. It did smell pretty good. Lunchtime, Donald cried, and he crawled over to a half-eaten pretzel covered with mustard slime. I'm a little hungry myself, Rebecca said, smiling and sniffing moldy peanuts. Yuck. Buzz started to bite into an old hot dog. Vzzt! A beam of energy suddenly struck him in the back. Ouch, he yelled. Back off, my mangy maggot. Back off, you mangy maggot, shouted Donald. And he pointed his power ring toward Buzz. This garbage is ours. Yeah, Rebecca agreed, and don't try anything funny. We've got you outnumbered. Whoosh! And then a neon light flashed through the dumpster. The Green Lantern Firefly, Phosphor, suddenly landed next to Buzz. Let's see, where's Phosphor? Oh, there he is. That must be him. Firefly. Beep, wrong, he said, and he blinked his tail off and on. I believe now the score is tied. 2 bad guys, 2 good guys. Ha! Think again, shouted Donald. The dumpster started shaking. Shaking like an earthquake. It rocked from side to side, up and down, and then from beneath a pile of gooey garbage, another Sinestro Corp bug appeared. Each one carrying their own yellow ring. Oh, look at, here's the bad bugs. They were all in that garbage. It's game over for you two, said Donald. The rotten roach pointed his power ring at the Green Lanterns. The other evil insects followed his lead. Beep, wrong again, Phosphor said. This bug battle has just begun. Well, that's the end of Chapter 2. Chapter 3 is Bug Battle. Buzz and Phosphor held their power rings in the air. Together they repeated the Green Lantern Oath. In brightest day, in blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power, Green Lantern's light. Buzz and Phosphor each imagined a giant can of bug spray. A second later, the objects appeared from their rings, and the Green Lanterns pointed the cans at the bad news bugs, blasted them with a mighty mist of energy. Whoosh! The Sinestro core bugs started coughing and falling down. Whew, started Donald and the roach trying to fan away the mist with his tiny legs. That's a rotten thing to do. Did somebody say rotten? Asked Toots. Another Sinestro bug from nearby. Which one is Toots? Must be this one. Oh, he's a smelly bug. He's a stink bug. They don't call me a stink bug for nothing. The smelly bug let out an awful odor of his own. Buzz and Phosphor couldn't handle the stench, and they created a stink-proof bubble with their rings, and they hid inside. They created this bubble so they can't smell the stink bug. The Sinestro Corp bug surrounded them. Looks like you got caught in a pickle, said Donald, the roach. Are you ready to give up? Phosphor the Firefly blinked his behind, off and on and off. Is he surrendering? Donald asked the evil mosquito next to him. Don't ask me, said Ezek. I don't speak glowbug. I don't speak glowbug either. He's not giving up, shouted Buzz. He's calling in our relievers. Suddenly, 4 more Green Lanterns insects dived into the dumpster. Oh boy, let's see. These are the bad guys down here. Here's some of the good guys up here. Ooh, I think that's an ant, too. All right. Green Lantern insects shot a glowing green baseballs at Donald and the other sinister bugs. Bet you didn't see that curveball coming, joked Buzz with a laugh. Ah, cried Donald. The roach dodged from side to side, trying to avoid all the wild pitches. What do we do? Branch out, said Thimble. He looks like a branch himself, doesn't he? They can't hit us all. The Sinestro cork bugs scattered in all directions, and the Green Lanterns gave chase. Phosphor took off after Toots. Gratch the mantis tracked down Webbick. Buzzo the bee zoomed towards Ezek the mosquito. Buzz set his sights on Donald. Kapow, kapow, he fired 2 glowing green stingers at the rotten roach, and he missed. Ha ha, Donald said, that's 2 strikes. 1 more and you're out. He held his ring and returned the fire. Ooh, it's a real battle here. On the far side of the dumpster, Eenie the ant faced off against the sinister stick insect. Thimble was more than twice his size. He's fighting this guy, his little ant. Ha, not even fair, said Thimble, laughing at the teeny ant. I'll snap this puny pest like a twig. Let's see if you like being picked on, shouted Eenie. Or should I say, pecked on. The ant created a giant woodpecker with his ring. It chased after the stick insect like a tasty treat. Meanwhile, the other insect enemies shot beams of green and yellow light back and forth against each other. Boom, boom. The dingy dumpster quickly turned into a critter cage match. Wow, look at these bugs fighting each other. Some are shooting green, some are shooting yellow, all inside this big garbage dumpster. Give up, said Donald the roach. You're no match for our pest power. Phosphor started blinking again. Oh, now what, said Donald. The firefly pointed to the sky. His tail blinked faster and faster. Listen, said Waxy the earwig. I think I hear something. The Green Lantern bug looked up and the other pests followed his gaze. Whammo! Look at that. Looks like they got hit by a big baseball. A giant baseball fell from the sky like a 2-ton bomb. The insects flew in all directions, nearly squashed by the massive orb. Who did that? Said Donald. Lying on the floor, Buzz suddenly remembered the baseball game. He flew to the top of the dumpster and looked out. The stadium scoreboard read 6-6 in the bottom of the 9th inning. The Warriors had just tied up the game with a mighty grand slam. Huh, Donald said. He and the other bugs had crawled up beside Buzz. Looks like this game isn't over. Well, neither is this bug battle, said Buzz. But for now, how about we call it a tie? The other bugs agreed. Besides, said Buzz, you know what extra innings mean, right? And the bugs looked out at the stadium. Thousands of hungry fans munching on hot dogs, popcorn, peanuts. They love all that food, too. Phosphor blinked his tail. Toots the stink bug let out a giant burp. Webbick the tarantula licked his hairy lips. Extra garbage, Donald said. Exactly, said Buzz, leading them towards the stand. Play ball. The end. Well, that's great. They called a tie in their battle, so they could all go after new garbage. All right. Here's some pictures of our hero pets. We've talked about a lot of these. Oh my goodness, we talked about many of these already. And here's our bad guys. We had these bad insects today. All right, here's a joke. What do you call a fly with no wings? No idea. A walk. What do you call spiders that just got married? Tell me. Newlywebs. Oh. Why was the mother firefly happy? Tell me. Because her children were so bright. Some of the words we had today. Antenna is the feelers on the top of an insect's head. Court is a group of creatures acting together to do the same thing. Dugout is a shelter where baseball players sit when they're not at bat or the field. Maggot is the larva of a certain fly. Oath is a serious formal promise. Pastime is a hobby or sport that makes time pass enjoyable ways. Tarantula is a large hairy spider found mainly in warm regions. And universe is the earth and the planets and the stars and all things in space. Alright, so here we have our last page where we have the good guys and the bad guys. Alright, well that was a interesting book. I didn't know bugs could fight so hard. I'm not real happy with bugs, but if they stay in the garbage can, in the garbage dumpster, that's fine by me. Alright, love you all. You have a great day. Mwah. Bye-bye.